Hey, hey, how are you
Hey.
guys?
We're doing great. How you doing?
Good, good. Now, I've been asked, it's a very unique film experience for the viewer. I can't imagine what it was for you guys to actually be a part of this.
Universal hired his therapist.
Is
Yeah.
it working? Is the therapist working?
Yeah, we're fine.
We're,
Um,
therapist.
I think we all had an amazing experience because it was something we'd never done before. It was all trial and error. And I think between Timur, Nelson, Leo, and Adam Sidman, who put together the technology to be able to film in one house, each character in its own in his or her own room. Jacob, unfortunately, had to be in the garage. And then setting up laptops with a GoPro on top and the lighting around the computer and a million wires bundled up so that you can roam around the room. I mean, I don't know how they managed to do that, but they did. And then for us to be able to memorize an entire script and then also improvise on top of that and be so emotional, it's a pretty remarkable thing that we actually managed to, I personally think, nail it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, where did you guys find your characters? Can you talk about, let's start with you. Yeah,
Okay.
Moses, what about you?
So Nelson wrote a really strong story, and just learning how the character, what his actions were and how he reacts to certain things in the story. Then later getting into the scene to being able to improvise off of that.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the character came from.
Yeah.
So just having this really strong story and seeing the actions that he takes, because the actions kind of dictate who the person is. You're judged by not what you say, but what you do. So in improv training, they teach you your actions are that. So yeah, that's how that character came to life.
What about you, man? What about you, Will?
I think my character is got a little bit of a drinking problem, a little bit of a hothead. He's
A little bit?
yeah, exactly, definitely. So I don't know, but brings some drama and to the crew, and I feel like everyone knows a kid like that. So I feel like everyone knows these characters to some degree or another. They're all very relatable. So it's nice to have a relatable cast as well as to show the film in such a young, relatable way on a desktop platform.
Yeah.
So,
Speaking of the desktop platform, you can learn a lot about the character Blair, just how she moves her mouse, if you think about it. When or if you see the movie, you're watching Blair's desktop, and not only can you see her, but you can see how she interacts with the computer.
Mhm.
And as I was watching the film the other day for the first time, I was like, wow, it's really cool that, because obviously the typing stuff is not me. I mean, I did it in real life when we were
Yeah.
filming, but in post they added,
Yeah.
of course, the action of it. They really did a great job of sticking to the character of Blair just by the way
The typing and just the way the mouse moves, where it's like frantic, and that
Yeah.
helps build tension in a new way that you've never seen before. We've all seen like a character in a horror movie try to open a door with a key, and they're like fumbling with the key. But now to have like a mouse thing trying to click something that won't click, it builds so much tension because these are interfaces that we're dealing with every day. Like you go home, you're on your Facebook, and you're clicking around to tabs and tabs, and to see in such a heightened sense with all the stress behind it.
And that's why they're calling it a new genre of horror.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and it's such an immersive and interactive experience for an audience member, because you're choosing what box of what character you want to watch. You want to watch the text? Are you trying to focus on what box? And I feel like everyone that watches this movie, even the friends that are sitting next to you, are going to have a different experience than you. And you're no longer a passive audience member.
And as we filmed it, us as actors decided who we wanted to pay attention to in the take. and honestly, I was getting things done on my phone throughout filming. They encourage that because you're not always 100% attentive when you're Skyping with people. You're doing a million things. That's the luxury of the internet.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like a good movie is made up of all these like little accidents. That's what makes it feel real. And when we're looser with it, and we're just improvising, and we're making mistakes, we're leaving to go, use the restroom, or we're texting each other, then that all adds to the reality of the film, and that's why it makes it so haunting, because you forget that you're watching a movie. I mean, 'cause we're not like parroting back lines. We're speaking and interacting to these elements that are being shown.